Like, come on, bro. You ain't say nothing. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, host, Mr. Adrian Jackson. Thank you guys so much for joining us with us today. We apologize for the delay, but Addam's class was so amazing that we couldn't cut it short. So if you guys did miss it, you guys want to make sure you sign up for the next one. Who knows what it's going to be, but I know it's going to do something to make sure that we unlock our bliss and just live this amazing life that we want to live and feel this peace, power, and purpose that we want to pull out of life. So with that being said, I have our amazing teacher, our amazing host for this weekend's event, Mr. Addam from Addam. Addam, how we doing today, sir?
Man, I'm in peace right now in this moment. I feel purposeful and I feel in my power in this moment.
Love it. Thank you. No, I'm so glad you're here, bro. Thank you so much for coming out.
Honored that y'all have me here, that y'all are so receptive to what I have to share, and I'm so glad to be a part of this podcast. Sorry we're running late.
Oh, hey, it happens, man. It happens, but great things you have to wait for, right? So
that's what they say.
I love it. So Addam, I kind of just want to talk a little bit about some things we discussed in class today, and just learn a little bit more about human design in general. So my first question for you is what is human design?
All right, so that's a great question. There's so many loaded ways to answer this, so I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. Human design is a science, a body of knowledge. It's a huge, inexhaustible body of knowledge.
Right, from what we're seeing today.
It's an inexhaustible body of knowledge that shows us exactly how the universe, the creator, has designed the human vehicle, the human being, mind, body, and soul.
Right.
To function on the earth.
Okay.
In all of our uniqueness, in all of our differentiation. It uses to convey how we are designed, to convey how humans are here to function. It's the manual for our human species. And to convey it is done using 6 sciences.
Okay.
Integrated in one.
Really? What is it? It's 6?
Well, it's 6. Some people may not call them sciences, but it's 6 systems.
Okay.
It's 6 systems. We'll say that. It's 6 systems in one. The Kabbalah.
Okay.
And the chakras. The I Ching. The hexagrams. The astrology.
Okay.
And quantum physics or quantum biomechanics with the DNA and activations.
Okay.
And then I'm missing something else. There's one more that I can't think about. Not the Enneagram. The Enneagram is not in it. It's right in my tongue, but I don't know what it is. But it is it's something biomechanics or something or I don't know the 6th one, but it's 6 systems. It's 6 systems in one to convey to us the language. We use those 6 systems as the language to convey what is the human that you are incarnated in, what is this uniqueness, and what is makes it different from other humans.
Oh, wow. So with human design, we really are all unique.
We are unique as our fingerprint. We are unique as our fingerprint. There is nobody with your fingerprint, and there is nobody with your human design.
Beautiful.
Nobody with your human design. And so the human design is communicated in 2 parts. There's a human design, the body of knowledge, that is really inexhaustible. You can look at a body graph or the map of somebody's body graph based on those 6 systems that's integrated, and you can tell what would be their best diet for their metabolism.
Oh, wow.
What environment they best belong in. How they take in information, how they learn.
Oh, wow.
You can see their mating and bonding pattern, how they best meet a mate, how they will best react in bed sexually.
Oh,
wow. What their incarnational cross is, like what they're here to fulfill in this life. It really goes into depth.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is literally inexhaustible. You can study it and study it. I hear people compare it to human design is like going to a library and you exhaust this room. Man, it's all I've read everything here. And then you see a door, and you go to that door. There's another room full of books, and then you read all of that, and then you go through another door, and it keeps going.
Wow.
It just talks about, as today we talked about what it means to be an individual and tribal and collective.
Right.
We didn't even get into profiles.
Yeah.
We didn't get into profile types, right? We didn't get into incarnational crosses. And you already said today was a lot of information, and we didn't even touch on those subjects.
Right, exactly. No, we touched on a lot, I felt like. It was like it just kept coming.
And that was probably 5%.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So you need like only a month to teach this.
No, it's probably like a whole year. Probably a whole year, you know. And I'm a novice to it for the most part. I've only been in it for 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd you get started into it? Like, how did it come to your attention?
It was first brought to my attention in 2017. Someone asked me if I heard of human design. I said no. They did their best to communicate to me. It was not well, and it just sounded. It wasn't articulated. It's so complex to describe what it is.
Right.
And then when you just hear what it is, it doesn't sound anything different from astrology. It doesn't sound anything different from the Enneagram. Right. So I just dismissed it as, okay, it's just another one of those things. Another Myers-Briggs, another personality plus type of thing. It's another, just a personality assessment.
Right.
Okay, I don't need to know that. You
right,
know?
Another type of tarot. Or not tarot, but astrology, yeah.
Yeah, so I completely dismissed it. And it was in 2019. And I was going through just extremely disappointing time in my life, in my love life, which is kind of like the theme of my life. But this time it was really disappointing.
Right.
And I was old enough at this point, at 39, to take responsibility. And so I had spent a week of journaling and getting to the root of like what I need in my life. And during this week, I kept writing, I'm missing satisfaction. I'm missing satisfaction. I just kept writing. I kept just, every time I would come from meditation, every time I would ground myself, and I began to do the surrender method. I began to study David Hawkins' Transcending the Levels of Consciousness and the Pathway of Letting Go. He had a book called The Pathway of Letting Go, How to Surrender. And in that, as I was doing my surrender, I just became very conscious, and I started journaling. I don't have satisfaction in my life. About a week later, I ran into a friend, and the friend said, "You ever heard of human design?" I said, "Oh, yeah, someone told me about that." And they said, "What you know about?" I said, you know, just whatever. And they said, "Oh, for curious sake, can I look up your human design?" I'm like, yeah, but if you want to know, I just want to know what you are. And so they was reading it, and they looked it up, and they just like, okay, they were just kind of mumbling to themselves, and they was like, "Oh, you have that type that you need satisfaction." I said, "Wait, what'd you say?" And they said, "Oh, your requirement is if you live in your design, you get satisfaction."
Right.
I said, "Give me that." I said, because now it woke me up. Because I literally have been spending a week, every time I would check in and ground, I would come out and says, "There's no satisfaction." When I asked myself, what I'm craving, I heard the word satisfaction. So I've been writing it for a week. So when I heard somebody say, "Oh, you have that type that if you're not living in your design, you won't feel satisfaction."
Right.
I said, my eyes got so big, I snatched their phone, and I said, where'd you see that at? Show me where. I was like, tell me what it's like. I don't know. All I know is this app just show you. I was like, well, how do I get the satisfaction? I'm like, I'm all in. And they was like, well, go to this link, and here's the person who told me about it. And I was just like, I got to figure this out to get this satisfaction because I am definitely not in satisfaction.
Right.
I didn't think at that time I was living misalignment. I would not have verbalized or confessed to anybody I'm feeling out of alignment with my human design.
Right.
I thought me being intuitive and serving people, I was living in alignment. Right. So I was very curious with this thing saying when you're out of alignment, you won't have satisfaction. One thing that was very true was that I was not in satisfaction.
Right.
And I had already verbalized it. It was coming up in my journals. So I was like, I got to know this. And that person, they didn't know a lot about it. So they sent me to somebody. And that person didn't give me the answer I wanted. And so I started YouTube, Google, researching with how do I make this thing work to get my satisfaction.
Right. No, I'm saying.
And I was like, I got to get my satisfaction. I got to figure this out so I get my satisfaction. I remember one of the first things that I learned was that there's the human design knowledge and there's the human design experiment.
Right.
And it's only during the experiment that you get the satisfaction.
What's the difference between the knowledge and the experiment?
I didn't know that until about 6 months ago.
Okay, gotcha.
But I heard it right then. But at that time in my life, I had spent so much of my life being conditioned that knowledge changes you.
Right.
I at that time in my life, I really had become a person like most of us that believes if I learn something, it'll automatically change me.
Like knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Right.
So I just disregarded that whole thing about there's a knowledge and there's an experiment. Do the experiment. I was like, okay, well, what's the difference? I'm gonna learn it. As I learn it, I'll get satisfaction. I mean, that's how I had done stuff. You read a book and you apply it and you get the satisfaction. So I kept. So the difference is the knowledge is just saying, here, Adam, this is who you are as a human.
Right.
This is how you're designed. This is how you this is your life force channels that you can express. This is what makes you unique from other humans. Right. Here's uniqueness from your diet. Here's uniqueness. So it's just like it was just like the personality. It was different. But the only difference in that this knowledge had is so accurate. Right. So detailed.
Yes. Very accurate.
It was just so accurate and so detailed that I was like, my God. But that's just knowledge. The experiment is learning how to apply something that you get from the knowledge called your strategy and your authority.
Understandable.
And experiment it. And that strategy and authority says, because you have this aura type, it's a magnetic field. And in order for your magnetic field to minimize resistance as it's going to and from, you need to follow this strategy for your aura type. And then you need to learn how to hear and discern and obey your inner authorities, yes or no, for your day-to-day decisions. And that's what's going to bring you satisfaction, is learning how to respond, live your strategy, and obey your inner authority. That will bring you satisfaction. I thought satisfaction is going to come the more I learned about myself.
The more you can apply
the more I can learn about myself and apply it, then I will get satisfaction.
Right, but you had to actually experiment and really go through and say yes or no, does this sit right with me? And if it does, I know I get satisfaction.
I will get that yes is saying yes. This will lead you to being in satisfaction at the end of this day.
Wow.
You learn how to master that, and all the knowledge is saying, here's how you hear your yes or your no, and here's your strategy. It does have a whole lot of other stuff in it. Right? But that other knowledge is just juicy. It does bring you a sense of like, man, I can love myself. I know who I am. Right. But what I've also discovered is that knowledge, even though it may make you feel comforted in who you are, it's temporarily comfort. Right. The knowledge of saying, okay, Adam, you're primarily an individual. So you have an emotional solar plexus. So you have moments where you're very moody. You have moments where you're very antisocial. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. This is just how I'm designed. Right. That's comforting.
Right. That's relaxing, yeah.
It's relaxing for a little bit. But day to day, it becomes a headache. Right. Because all that knowledge does is just say, this is why I'm unhappy. Because I have an emotional wave. This is why I'm miserable. This is why I don't like this job. And after a while, it's just like, okay, I don't care about this knowledge anymore. Because now all this knowledge is just saying, this is why you're miserable. Right. No, and that's it doesn't stop you from being miserable. It just lets you know in very precise, specific details why you're miserable.
Right, and that's beautiful because my strategy is wait for the invite. And I feel that I get irritated when I have to force something to happen. And it's like, after listening to Human Design, it was like, that's why I get irritated when I feel like I forced myself somewhere where I wasn't invited. So I have learned to start sitting back and just wait for the invite and understand it. And the more I wait for it, when the invites come, I feel better. Yeah. And I feel more of a sense of I belong here now compared to me trying to force myself into the room.
Yeah, and mine is wait to respond to something. I didn't get that even after the years of studying it. I thought this is how I thought Human Design worked. You read and you learn about yourself, and then you try to apply it and fix it in your life.
Right.
Oh, I have a channel called the Channel Community. I didn't be doing work with a community. Okay, that's gonna make me happy.
Right.
Let me go do something with the community.
Right.
That's me still trying to force. That's me trying to make something happen. And I would I learned this about myself. Let me go try to make that happen. Oh, how can I find something that fits that in my life? Let me go, I should be doing this because I read this in my Human Design. Oh, I should be doing this. I thought for 4 years, that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
No. That's why I say the knowledge is juicy, it's limiting, but what brings me satisfaction is now waiting for something to show up
And then respond to
and then respond to it after I check in with it, if it's a yes for me to respond to it, or is it no, leave that alone.
So when you say check in, what do you mean by checking in? Is it like wait for the positive thought to say, I want McDonald's, and then your mouth waters, and it's okay, that means yes? Or is it like something deeper than that?
Well, it's different for everybody else. It's different for everybody is different. But for me, for example, you say, "Hey, Adam, would you like to be on my podcast? I'm doing a podcast. I want you to be on it." I've learned now that I need to be okay. That sounds great and amazing. I got on my vision board to be on a podcast, but let me check in my body and see, is it correct for me to be on your podcast? And when I say check in, what I'm doing is I'm going to ask, is it correct for me? And I'm going to say, is that a yes? And I'm going to let my body give me a sense of comfort. My authority is called solar plexus authority or emotion authority.
Okay.
And so for me, I get this very calm, peaceful sense of okayness, like a relaxation from my shoulders down, or like this, my body opens up. And so I'll say, is that correct for me? Is it a yes? If I say yes to it, and if it's a correct yes, it's like an openness. It's like a rush, a calm. Right? Or I may hear a no. I'll say both. I'll say, is it yes? And I'm looking for that. When I say yes, I'm looking to see what follows it. Does it follow relaxation? And I'll say no. Sometimes if the relaxation comes with the no, the no feels more easy. It's like the no creates a flow in me. So when I check in, I'm stopping to check in versus saying, oh my God, he asked me to do this podcast. I always want to be on a podcast. It's on my vision board. Of course I'm going to say yes to this.
Right.
No, because that may not be the right podcast for me.
Right, exactly.
That may not fit my schedule. I may not be a good match on your podcast.
Right.
So I have to check in with it.
So it's like literally, you'd have the knowledge in your mind, but you're trying to trust your body.
You trust your body's wisdom.
Right.
And when I say your body, I mean everything is kind of below your mind. Because the mind is always analyzing, using logic and reason and analyzation. And the mind has come from our animal evolutionary background.
Oh, wow.
And in other words, the mind is focused on one thing, your survival.
Right.
And when it comes to our modern day survival, it's really focused on our approval, our sense of security, and our sense of control.
Right.
It is not concerned about your satisfaction.
Right.
Your real satisfaction.
Right.
It's not concerned about, are you living in your peace, your power, your purpose. Your mind is concerned about, is this going to keep me approved?
Right.
And it's going to help me stay in control of life.
Wow, that's so beautiful, because it's kind of like for me, I want to say no, but then I get into my mind of, if I say no, this person's not going to approve me no more. I'm shunned. I'm not a part of the family, what the case may be. So I force myself to say yes. But then when I'm there, it's like, why did I come here? I should have listened to my body.
And ultimately, what that body yes or no is saying to it, what it really is saying, no, this is not going to be a good use of your attention, your time, and your energy. And we're here on earth to put our energy into correct use. Our energy is here to be used correctly every day. There's a whole science, there's a whole body of knowledge called energy management. There's a whole company that goes around, they do consultations for companies, people, called energy management.
Really?
Because they realize that life, happiness, productivity for companies, individuals, systems is about how we use our energy correctly every day.
Right.
And that's the root of the human design experiment. That yes or that no is saying, yes, this is going to be a good use of your energy.
Right.
That your mind cannot fathom. Your mind just doesn't know, because your mind isn't concerned about the good use of your energy.
Right.
Your mind is saying, well, at least we kept you from not being approved. Yeah, you're miserable. Yeah, your energy wasn't used right, but at least everybody's happy.
Right.
But at the end of the day, everybody been happy with you, may not keep you feeling successful with your energy.
Right.
And this is where we hear of the horrible stories of people who we say, man, they had everything. Why were they unhappy and committed suicide? Why were they so depressed? They had love. They were doing everything we want to do. But they were doing stuff that wasn't correct for their energy.
Right.
It wasn't suitable for their design. The way they were using their energy, they weren't getting peace back. They weren't getting purpose back. They weren't feeling power back from the use of their energy. So this yes or no is saying, yes, this is going to be a good use of your energy. This is going to be a good use of your time. This is going to be a good use of your effort. And that good use means you're going to get back from it peace, power, or purpose.
That's interesting. I find that really wild because, I feel like we were always taught to, you're taught to trust your mind and get out of your body because your body's going to give you urges that you don't like. So it's like, no, don't trust your body, trust your mind. And it's like you're giving me the whole vice versa of your mind's just going to help you survive, but you need to trust your body because your body's going to make sure you use your energy correctly on the correct path where it's supposed to be at properly.
Dr. David Hawkins first really put this into beautiful scientific research. Dr. David Hawkins wrote a book that was published in the 80s. He had did 20 years of research, 20 years of kinesiology research, and it proved his thesis, he was a psychiatrist, and his thesis was the mind cannot tell the difference between the truth and the lie. And the body can never lie.
Oh, wow. I love that.
And the name of his book was called Truth versus Falsehood. And the idea, kinesiology, is muscle testing. And through muscle testing, the body gets strong with truth and it gets weak with a lie.
Oh, wow.
And it was from that he discovered that the body will never lie to you and the mind cannot tell the difference between the truth and the lie. If I give you a sugar pill and I have a white coat on like a doctor and I say, hey, AJ, this pill is going to eliminate this, and you have other doctors sign on it, it's just sugar. You're going to get it and you're going to, yeah, y'all are right. I feel so much better after I took that something. It's a lie, but your mind can't tell the difference.
Right.
But but if we asked your body, if we put that sugar pill, and these are experiments he did, he would put the sugar pill in the person's hand and ask them, is this pill able to do this? And they would go weak with it.
Oh, wow.
Their body knew there's nothing to that pill.
Wow.
And so your body, and this is where human design is. Human design is you can learn how to use your bodies to make the choice for your yes or your no. It will always be reliable because that integrated truth of your body is unique to you. It's saying that yes or that no is saying based on who you uniquely are, this will not be a good use of your time and energy.
That's interesting.
Based on all of your uniqueness, as you saw this weekend, it's complex, right?
Yeah, it's very complex.
Your uniqueness is so complex, your mind can't even try to begin to integrate who you are.
Right.
It can't even begin to integrate it. But that yes or no is taking a synthesis of who AJ is, and it's saying, no, AJ, based on who all of you are, this is not going to be a good use of your time and your energy. And a good use is saying you're not going to get peace from this, it's not going to put you in this place of purpose, and it's not going to give you a place of power. Oh, wow. And when you get finished with it, instead of being in peace and power, you're going to be in some type of bitterness or frustration. And that magnetic frequency is what's going to attract to your life.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like the universe has given me like a step. I got into New Age through law of attraction. Then I learned truth versus falsehood. And now I got the human design. It's like God saved the best for last. It all makes sense. Right. Because how it plays out, just like that. You learn that you have a uniqueness. Then you learn that the body can give you your yes or no, just like David Hawkins' book said. And that yes or no is saying, this is going to give you the peace, the sense of purpose, that's going to be your magnetic field. And then it brings it back to the beginning. And that is what the law of attraction is going to respond to.
Oh, wow.
The law of attraction is going to then bring to you in your life and reflect back to you that sense of peace, purpose, and power.
Oh, wow.
Because that's going to be your inner state that the law of attraction is going to manifest out your outer life.
That's beautiful.
And that's why that yes or no is so important. Because that yes is saying or that no is saying, no, don't do this, because it's not going to leave you in the right frequency that then is going to attract everything that you need in your life.
That's real. It's funny you said like the whole body tightening thing and stuff, because I remember, I want to say in high school, middle school, we used to have a lie detector test that we did on kids. We did on each other. And you're supposed to hold your arm out and then somebody
that's called kinesiology.
Yeah, they'll push on your arm.
That's the muscle test. It's called muscle testing. And that's the 20 years. David Hawkins did 20 years of research across the world to make that was the research that he did. Muscle testing, all types of muscle testing to come up with his book, Truth versus Falsehood.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So it's like we've been knew this stuff. We just stopped listening to our bodies and our guts like we're supposed to.
Because the body does, the mind, it's not the body, it's the mind that has cravings. and desire. It's the mind craving. It's the mind saying, it's the mind that's got you to do something that was a no, right? Now you went to that event, you come back from that event, and you don't feel good.
Right.
You're frustrated. And the mind said, well, let's go get some donuts, make you feel better. So you don't have to think about this bad mistake.
Right.
And you won't see how much I failed you.
Right.
And then you trust the mind again. Right? And the mind is that friend, that best friend that just keeps leading us into bad choices.
Right.
And then they come back and say, okay, I know I messed. I know that didn't work for you, but this time we're going to do it this way.
Right.
And it doesn't do it that way. You're not feeling peace, and then it comes up with something. It comes up with something to say, well, do this. It'll make you feel better.
Right. That's interesting.
But if you put your focus and your attention and you say, okay, body, I want you to give me an inner body prompt, inner body response with this yes or this no. For me, I'm emotion authority. So for me, it's very consistent, you know. When you just asked me, is it correct for you to go to the movies this evening? Right? There was a rush of like, no.
Yes.
Like there was like a no. It's like, that's, I didn't even know, it's like, no. I don't know if you noticed how I said like a no.
Yeah.
Because that's where that's like a calm piece, like a, even though you can see how distressed I was, the flow was like, no.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I can feel it. For me, it feels like I'm asking that's the flow.
So, okay, so in order for us to really start to hear this yes and no with our body, do we really start to like need to get in more in tune with our body, I'm guessing, on that level? Or like what are some techniques that we need to do to really start to hear this yes and no?
We do. And I'm smiling at myself right now because I must say I may have been making it more easy than it is. There is a lot of deconditioning that needs to happen. And the founder really encouraged people that it will be hard to hear that yes or no, especially, and he really focused on if your diet is not correct, if your environment is not correct, if your body is too tense. So there are some preconditions that make it easier to hear.
Okay.
Right? So I'm a person who's been practicing intuition for a while. Over 20 years of being consciously practicing how to use my intuition. I get paid for my intuition. I'm a psychic reader. You know, people pay me to hear. But I just started learning how to really use it for myself. This is a fascinating part of my journey. I had some digestive issues that became really intense at 26 and 27. I was forced to change my diet. I later began to realize years later that change in my diet helped me become more intuitive and psychic.
So your body started getting exactly what it truly needs, not what you wanted to put in there.
It helped get clearer. I learned in the human design that diet is so important to being clear on your intuition and being able to hear that yes or that no. And so in human design, they call it determination. Your diet is called your determination. The reason why it's called determination because it is that important to determining how clear you can be on your yes or your no.
Wow.
That's why it's called determination. For me, my determination is to eat food after the sun goes down. Or to eat food when there is no sunlight coming in my eyes or my arms. It is mutation over the years. I come from a genetics of people who after millennia only ate at night. And that's what their digestive system become used to, and that's what I inherited. I inherited a digestive system that is maximized at night without sunlight.
Oh wow!
And at night, my body will metabolize, and if I eat a donut and that donut got 0.1 vitamin A in it, when you eat it according to your determination, your body will make sure you get that 0.1 vitamin A out of it.
Oh wow. That's interesting.
And that 0.1 vitamin A will help nourish my brain and my awareness to be able to discern and hear clear. It takes you out of brain fog. And so the funny thing is, I didn't start doing an experiment until maybe 4 or 5 months ago. Hardcore. But I started my diet 2 years ago. Again, I got into a sickness, a digestive issue, and I was forced to try it. So I did that first, and it rapidly changed me. Where I only eat when the sun goes down.
Oh wow!
It isn't forced. It is really as I was telling when I first told my sister, she said, "Well, that makes sense because your entire childhood we could not get you to eat during the daytime. And I remember in the first grade, my mom doing my checkup. She didn't take me to the doctor specifically for this reason, but she took me on a checkup, and he was like, any problem, she's like, Adam doesn't eat. I can't get him to eat until I put all the food away, and it's late at night, and then he gets hungry. And I scared. My father's a pastor. He worked a factory job. He got home about 5 o'clock every day, and then he had to go to prayer meeting. So our dinners were always in the middle of the day.
Right.
Always between 5 and 6:30. That's what we always ate. That's the middle of the day. I was just as a child already in my organic. There was no appetite. Right, and so it was a big deal. You know, it was always he don't eat. You gotta eat. You can't really say until you eat. And I'm like, I'm really not hungry, right? And it made a complex, out of it because I would go to other people's family's house,
right,
and they'd be like, he's not eating anything. And I'm like, when you go to this person's house, you better eat. I would never be hungry, I did not start finally like having an appetite to eat until I started going through puberty.
Oh wow.
And then after that, I began to, as a man, you go through, you can't stop eating.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I got to college, the joke of my friends around me, the joke about me was that Adam is going to take y'all to get food after midnight. And it was true. Like midnight would happen, and I'm just like, y'all, anybody want to order pizza? Y'all want to stop by Cookout? Y'all want to stop this place? The later it got, it's just like, man, I just get so excited to eat.
Right. That's interesting.
And so now when I started practicing, people are like, are you fasting? Are you denying yourself? No, I don't have an appetite with sunlight. And the brighter it is, the less I have appetite.
Wow.
So it's not fake. I'm not, people think I'm doing it because I read somewhere, don't eat at night. And I'm making myself not hungry. No, I don't have an appetite.
Right.
There's nothing happening in my stomach to make me hungry. But the moment that sun go past that horizon,
starve.
I all of a sudden I realized I'm so hungry. And I had a close friend that also pointed this out to me. And we would hang out all day doing work, doing stuff. And I remember one time we was eating somewhere very late, and I was just eating. And they said, "Did you realize that you eat so much food at night?" And I said, "Not really." They said, "Yeah, I've been with you for the week. I've been with you almost all day. I'm hungry." I'm like, "You hungry?" You say, "No, I'm hungry." Night coming, they said, "You eat so much food." And I was like, I pay no attention. This was about a year before I learned that thing. So I've been doing that for 2 years before I start really, really doing an experiment.
Right.
And so I do think that helps me be more aware of my yes or my no.
That's really interesting because as you talking about food, I'm sitting here like, I feel the same way sometimes. Like at nighttime, I get so hungry and I have no idea. And I can just get done eating. But for some reason toward late night, I really want something to eat now.
Interesting. We'll have to look at your chart and see what your determination is.
Yes, please. We're going to do that for sure. But then leading to my other questions or another question. So, like you said, the yes and the no is what really determines on if it's right for you or not right for you. So I guess my question would be is how do you fight off that? Because like how you were talking about the movie. It seemed like, you said no naturally, but your mind was like, really?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like, that was the only plan I had after this, and you just told me not to do it, so now what? So it's like, how do you really learn to just trust your body and trust your body's intuition?
The experiment. So other times where that has happened. Now I've been doing this for hardcore for about 5 months now. So there's been other times it's been like, oh my gosh, I gotta know. I really want to see that movie. I really want. And now by doing it, honoring it, always something more satisfying.
Okay. So you kind of
I've learned to now trust, even though my mind cannot fathom. There's been so many times I say, I can't fathom what would be better than that. I can't fathom what would be better than that. But I follow it and I'm like, oh, wow. My mind had no idea that I would get more joy and more satisfaction from doing that than doing this. So I just roll with it. Like, it's like, no, that's not what you're doing tonight. I'm like, okay, well, that's disappointing. But I'm going to trust that there's going to be something else better suited for my energy.
Right. And yes, what it is, you trust your body.
I'm trusting that there's something better suited for me than to sit 2.5 hours watching that movie. I have no idea what it could be right now. I mean, I'm in Vegas, so I got some ideas, but right now, that was what I had. That was my preference.
Right.
And this goes back to the surrendering experiment, letting go of your preference.
I love it.
Letting go of your preference and say, hey, I guess I'll see what else the universe got for me to do with my time, my energy that may be more rewarded, peace, power, and purpose. I'm just going to trust.
So I'm curious too of like, I feel like the idea that we're always taught to, if you want to do that, you can be that. Keep practicing that and keep doing it no matter what. Don't let up to. So
in my book, I have a whole section that's called the sickness of the planet. I call it the sickness of the planet right now. Like it is truly, and I'm getting sad just now talking about it because it really is the sickness of the planet. The sickness of the planet that's becoming worse and worse and worse is, what do you want to do? Go do it, make it happen. And we live in a planet now that people do that. They don't get the peace, the purpose, and power.
Yeah.
And the world says, "Don't worry, distract that unpleasant feeling that you're feeling right now. Just scroll through social media until you pass out.
Right.
Get that alcohol. Get this stimulation. Here's some edibles. Oh, you feel uncomfortable because you've been living in misalignment? Just here's some edibles. Right? Here's some this. Here's some this. Stream this. It's giving us everything except making us say, why am I feeling so unhappy, discontent here in my own aura without all this stuff? Beautiful. It doesn't want you to do that. It wants you to force yourself to go do something. It don't return peace and power. But don't worry. Oh, you ain't got no peace from being all that all day. Don't worry. I can give you some peace. Here's some edibles.
Here's something else. Right.
Here's something else. The fake manufacturing.
That's crazy. It's funny because when I went to physical therapy, they have a sign on the wall that says, today's medicine is not focused on solving the issue. They're just trying to suppress it.
Absolutely.
They don't care about actually going back and saying, but why do you keep getting diabetes? Let's figure this out. Why does your feet hurt? Let's figure this out. They just say, oh, take this pill and take the pain away and you're good now.
Yeah. It's like, and again, you're right. They're not. And everybody, no one is saying, but are you happy? Everyone's like, do this. No one asks you, but were you happy doing that? Oh, you got a job. Good. You got a job. Good. Nobody says, do you enjoy it?
That's interesting.
Did you feel good from it today? Was it satisfying for you?
Right.
What do? I do that. Oh man, that sounds like make some good money. Nobody says, but do you enjoy it?
Right.
Is it satisfying? Is it worthwhile? Are you feel like you're getting return for your energy? Do you feel peace, purpose, and power when you're at rest alone in your aura?
Right.
And that's the real test. The real test and the real purpose is for us to become true human beings when we're at rest from our major activities of work, play, and study. Like mammals, like all other mammals, when they're not hunting, when they're not eating, when they're not whatever, what are they doing?
They're resting.
They're just like this, looking around.
Enjoying the sun.
They get a prompt to eat. Okay, we'll go eat. Nope, got a prompt to store up for the winter. We're going to go do it. Whether or not they're just, But humans are like, we're doing, and then we finish that doing, and then we're just like, okay, I feel frustrated. Where's my this? Where's my this to make me take it away?
Right.
And no one is stopping and saying, why can't I just chill and be relaxed? And that's what I heard, and that's what the human design experiment is about. And the human design knowledge is just saying, here's your uniqueness that you need to express for your peace, your purpose, and your power. And it's just not the same. Like, what brings me peace? It's not. It may be some relatedness, but it may not be the same for you.
Right, because we're all different.
We're all different.
Right.
And the human design is just saying, hey, here's your design. Here's how you're designed to express yourself for your peace, purpose, and power. It don't mean you can go apply it. It's just saying, here's your
design to understand
it,
though, and then you have to figure out how to make your understanding work. It's like, give me the recipe, but I still got to go in the kitchen and cook it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You still got to do the experiment to align yourself there. And it's not even, and I don't even say it's a recipe to cook as much as it's just saying, a better analogy would be like this. Here's your manual to your car. And those manuals be thick, right?
Yep.
Most of us don't even read them.
Nope. You know how to drive, turn the key in, and go off.
That's the experiment. The experiment is turning the key and pressing the gas pedal. And that is much different from reading the car manual.
Right.
Like, can you imagine somebody buying a new car
Just sitting there reading the
and
manual.
just sitting and reading the manual? How you enjoying your car? Man, this car is bad. Let me tell you what it does. So let me show you this feature right here. Have you drove it yet, huh? No, look what it does. I ain't tell you about it.
This is everything about it, but I never experienced it yet, though.
Man, I love my car. I'm so bored with life. Well, have you driven your car yet? I know what it does, though. I know how fast it is. Have you driven it yet? They just read the manual. Tell you about the manual. But now they're bored.
That's interesting.
Drive your car. Do the experiment.
That's interesting.
And the key is the strategy, and the brake is the no, and the gas pedal's the yes.
So then, with the car analogy, keep going. What would be your maintenance stuff that you take care of? Like, what would that be with the human design?
The determination, the diet.
Okay, I feel it.
The
Change out your
diet, the
oils.
determination. Make sure you're putting the right nutritions in your body.
Okay.
All right, make sure you're putting the right nutrition to keep the systems clear, and make sure you're following the manual's recommendation for how to put gas and oil in your car.
Right.
And so human design can say, here's your determination, Adam. Don't put no food stuff in your body with that sunlight.
Got you. That's really
Again, a lot of people they think I'm doing something like ritualistic. Like they think or a lot of people in my family think, oh, he done read something new. He's doing that. But no, like it is so organic to me.
Right.
Like I do, but again, I do have family members that like have watched me. And they know, no, that's who you have been.
Right.
And I tell you all the time, I really do not get hungry now. I will like some sugar during the daytime, especially if I ain't been living in my correct yes. Because you ain't living that correct yes. You want some sweetness to take up for that sense of frustration.
Got you. That's interesting. So it seems like you low-key are like taking it back to like our primitive feelings and making us understand how we feel without society's mind. Or, the global mind putting onto us what we should feel or what we should think or what we should do. But you're actually getting back to the point of your body knows it.
The Holy Spirit dwells in your body.
Amen.
The Holy Spirit dwells in the temple of the Lord. And what's the temple of the Lord? The body. This is Christianity 101. Your body is a temple of God.
Right.
And the Holy Spirit dwells in that temple.
And you got to treat your temple the way your temple needs to be treated, not the way John
is. That's what Paul was saying. Take care of your temple because inside it, he emphasized, you take care of it because that's where the Holy Spirit dwells. And then you can learn how to discern the will of God for your life, communicate to you by the Holy Spirit.
Interesting.
Human design is for me, it's the gospel of Jesus restated in modern language.
No, and I understand that because I remember the class I took with you online where you took human design and you were able to rewrite the Lord's Prayer and help us write our own Lord's Prayer to hit with the...
I forgot that slide today.
But I remember that class.
Yeah, that was supposed to be part of the slide today.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that class. It was a beautiful class, and it was just amazing how you were able to use the chakras and your human design to help you personalize a prayer that will help you out and help you fulfill.
And that prayer, to be specific with that prayer is to get you out of your mind so you can hear clearly what your yes or your no is.
Love it.
It's a prayer to get you out of your mind. That prayer centers you in your body. It helps you invoke the Holy Spirit so you can hear now how to make a decision.
Love it. So
that yes or that no, because that yes is the gas pedal.
Right.
You can't move forward in life unless you're hitting the gas pedal.
Right.
No's may keep you safe. No's are good boundaries. They protect you. They're good boundaries. They protect you, but they don't move you forward.
Right.
Only thing that's gonna move you forward is a correct yes.
So, okay, let's rewind real bit then. How do I get out of my mind and hearing my body?
That Lord's Prayer would be a really good one. Prayer would be a really, really good one. All the stuff that people are teaching now. Meditation, yoga, breath work, meditation, yoga, breath work, prayer, affirmations, emotional freedom techniques. See, all these things are not, right now they're given to us as a means to an end. But they're really just the prerequisite to learn how to hear your clear yes or your no.
That's real. I never thought about that one.
That prayer that I said for y'all, that prayer isn't like the technology itself to get you to your purpose. That prayer just to help you get out of your mind, help invoke the Holy Spirit. And then, now after you pray, now commune and find out what's yes or no. Do your breath work, do your yoga to get yourself clear and centered, and then ask yourself your question, your yes or your no. Do your emotional freedom techniques, do it, get yourself centered, get your Reiki done, get all that done to then be clear about what is your yes or your no for your decision or whatever, especially big decisions. Lord knows for a big decision.
Right. And then I know also in class, based off human design, we all hear yes and no differently.
Absolutely.
So I was just curious on, like, maybe you can touch on how you hear yes and no and how maybe another.
Yeah, so like I said, my yes, I for me, a yes and a no is always going to be like a sense of flow, like a sense of relaxation. Like I said, I was startled when you asked me, but if we play it back, you may hear me go no. Like
it was a peaceful no.
Yeah, it was like a no. Like it's for me as an emotional person, how I experience it is always followed with a sense of peace. Like it can be a forceful peace, but for me it's like a openness, a relaxation, like a flow. It's like I'm looking at I'm almost like there's a river floating in my body, and either there's a no floating, like the word no floating on it, or a yes floating with it. And I'm just looking like, oh, it's a no that's floating by. Very calm,
Right.
That's what I've learned for myself. Sometimes I feel when I'm trying to force it, it feels like someone pinches my nose, which I was telling this to Becky just now, but after I told her I don't know what it is, I heard someone say it's your third eye.
Pinch your nose.
When I was feeling a pinch right here, what I heard was, no, that's just your third, whatever that gland is, whatever was right here, is something in that gland. And that gland, I'm experiencing resistance in that chakra. And that resistance is tightening. It's basically what I'm calling a pinch is the muscle testing there tightening, saying that ain't true.
Right.
Because I'll be like, I'm about to go do this. And something to be like, I'm like, okay, that's not a yes.
Right. That's interesting. So then what do you feel if you go against your yes or no? Like, how would you know if you went against it? Like what if you thought you had a yes and you're like, this is a yes, I feel good, it's a yes?
That's a great question.
But there should have been a no.
I will find out after it's done. And that's part of the human design experiment. Some people are like, hey, I don't know if this is a yes or no. Well, okay, well, let's do it. Do it, right? Or don't do it. After it's done, let's check in. And let me see, how do you feel in your body? Not how do you feel in your mind. Well, people say, oh, well, I did this felt good. How do you feel in your body? Are you satisfied? Tell me the truth. Do you feel satisfied that the reward of peace, purpose, and power from that?
Right.
Because some people will be like this, well, I didn't feel like I was supposed to go over there. Well, I got a yes. I think I got a yes. Okay, you went. You were there for 3 hours. What was it? Well, they were happy to see me. Well, I'm glad I showed up because it made me feel good to be a big brother or be whatever. Okay, that's not what I'm asking you.
Right. Do
you feel right now, for those 3 hours, is there a sense of peace being returned to you? A sense of purpose and power? Before you take that, whatever that thing is you got to do to try to make that false peace of purpose, and then just say, no, I'm not satisfied with the use of my time. And you might want to say, but you might want to fight yourself. But they're all happy with me.
Right.
We're not talking about they're all happy with you.
All of them, though. We talk about you.
We talk about you.
Exactly.
And then you say, no, I'm not. Then that was not a correct yes to go over there.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So it's like you really have to learn to just, at the end of the day, quiet your mind and quiet your body and just ask yourself.
And learn to just go with it and see. But be honest. I guess that's what I'm getting into. But do the experiment. Hey, I think this is a yes. Do it. We'll ask you after it's done. Have a friend hold you accountable to check in and say, hey, you've been there for 4 hours. It's over with. What do you feel? Are you feeling satisfied? Did you get a return of peace, sense of purpose, and power from being over there?
Or do you
Tell me the truth. Or do you feel like it was a waste of your time?
Right.
Or do you feel like even if it was a waste of your time, you say, well, no, because someone gave me $100. Yeah, but do you feel in your being that was your energy was used in a way that gave you back a sense of peace, purpose, and power? And then you have to say, no, it's not in me right now. Now that I'm here in my aura alone, no, I don't feel that peace, purpose, and power. Then that means that was not a correct yes or no. But most people won't take time afterwards to even ask themselves.
It was a correct yes or no.
Yeah.
And that's one thing.
Because that's when that's how you really learn. Because then you look back, once we have that conversation, you say, no, Adam, I was there, but I'm not feeling it. Okay. Now I can sit and I can say, okay, well, what made you think you heard a yes?
Right.
And then you play it back. You're like, actually, to be honest with you, Adam, I really did hear no. I just really, really did not want to disappoint them and let them down.
And that's what I feel I do. I hear a no, but I reconcile to myself to make it a yes. So I, like you said, don't let them down and don't feel bad. But then sometimes I have learned too that I try to say yes so bad, but I just can't say yes. I'll just say no. And then when the event is happening during that time, I find myself at peace that I said no. I'm glad I said no. It was actually a good day.
Yeah.
Thank God I did say no.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's interesting. So that leads to my next question. Would there ever be a yes or no from outside forces that can possibly direct you on where you're going? Like, for example, I'm going to go see this person, but I keep running to red lights. Like, or I don't know. I want to eat this food, but I drop my plate.
That is such a great question. And the answer to that is, first and foremost, no. Inner authority is called inner authority because it only comes from you. What you're describing are things to respond to.
Okay.
That red light I keep getting, that's a prompt for me to now check in to see, is it still correct for me to go where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
That's the red light itself is not the authority, but it is a good prompt to say, wait a second now, I keep getting these red lights. Let me use it as a prompt to respond to, because for all I know, when I left the house and decided an hour ago to go, it could be a correct yes.
Right.
But guess what? Humans got free will. Right?
Right.
I don't know who in that time, someone out of their correctness invited somebody over there that I don't need to be there with.
So your yes transformed to a no.
So now those red lights are coming, not as an authority, but for me to say, okay, I'm getting these red lights. Something is happening. These are external prompts. Let me check in and see, is it still correct for me to go over here? And then get it. And then check in. Or for your projector, that red light could be inviting you once again, or the drop of your plate could be an invitation for you to check in and say, is it correct for me to be eating this food? That in itself is not saying a yes or a no.
Right.
That is a prompt, though, to maybe consider to check in.
Right. Very interesting.
Does that distinction make sense to you?
No, it does make sense because we always look at things on the outside like it's a sign.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a sign.
I'm addicted to signs.
Yeah.
But now I use the signs as prompts to check in.
That's beautiful. It reminds me of
versus them. But they used to be my authority. They used to be dead center my authority. And you talking about chaos? Because okay, I saw my sign. I had my number. That's my number. And I'm driving confidence, and then I see the other number. Wait, that license plate didn't confirm it. Now I'm like, oh, I'm confused. It just leads to so much confusion that way.
That's deep. It reminds me of I don't know if you ever read The Alchemist.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so remember the little boy got the two rocks
yes.
for the meaning at the beam?
Yes.
I can't think of the names of them.
You said them closely, it seems like.
So closely, yeah. But cause remember at the beginning, he was like, okay, let me dig in the bag, see if my answer's right. But toward the end of the book, he was like, I don't need these rocks no more. I trust myself. I know if I'm on the right path. So he just stopped using the rocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely. And over time, over time, I've already begun to see it and just doing it a little bit. Over time, that yes and that no does become pretty much automatic.
Beautiful.
As well.
Beautiful.
Over time, it becomes very instantaneously. I'm already beginning, I'm already beginning a little bit to before as like. I've noticed this for the past 2 days. As soon as I hear the question, I can already hear the calm coming. It's coming very fast. So I can just imagine. The founder says after the first 7 years, when your shell has been retrained, it becomes much more automatic.
Oh, wow.
But it also becomes much more painful because you can't lie to it anymore.
Right, you can't make it.
So not it becomes painful, but life becomes more challenging. Because now you can't lie. Now you know that you know. I ain't supposed to be going to this party. Like there is no fooling of yourself.
Right. And you're gonna feel wrong there and everything. It's not gonna feel right. That's amazing. I know we got a question in the crowd, Mr. CEO.
Yeah, so my question was relative to the yes or no. Is it similar to like kinesiology, how you can ask the body something and like do a finger test and see if you get a yes or a no?
Yeah.
So y'all mentioned that already?
Yep. We were talking about that.
Okay.
It is absolutely that the aura that is the side that kinesiology, which Dr. David Hawkins' book Truth versus Falsehood is based on kinesiology. Really is a great foundational science that confirms the human design experiment.
So we can use kinesiology to get that yes or no. Is what you said.
You're doing it. That yes or no it's all related.
Okay, so the finger test. Can I do the finger test basically to be more specific? To get a yes or no?
Absolutely. You could. Absolutely 110% you could. It's just that I'm not even gonna say that you can't. I'm not even gonna say it. It's just that I would say that it's probably a good beginner step. I would probably say it's not something to be rely on, but it's something to maybe use to ultimately get to that other way where you can just hear it in you.
What about like?
But yeah, I would definitely say absolutely use kinesiology.
What about like other techniques such as the pendulum, or I guess to say the 8-ball people used to shake or stuff like that? Like, what about techniques like that?
That's a really good question. Because the pendulum is reportedly connected to your aura. Like the science of the pendulum is responsive to your aura. So I'm laughing because I gotta correct this to bring my pendulum with me on this trip.
Yeah.
What?
Randomly, just very randomly. I was packing. Someone said, "Grab your pendulum." So I heard and I checked in. Because I don't normally I hear that impression. Grab your pendulum. That's not the authority. That's a prompt. Okay, is it correct? I heard it, but I'm gonna respond to it. Is it correct for me to grab my pendulum? Yeah, put it in my bag. I don't know why I put it in my bag for.
Live test, because you guys are doing a live test today.
And so I brought the pendulum. And then when I got on the plane, I was thinking, why did I bring this pendulum for? My mind came with the reason that I was going to use the pendulum as a description to say, you think of yourself as a pendulum. Think of your body as a pendulum.
So you have to learn. Oh wow! So learn your body
as a pendulum,
and it's gonna be like the pendulum. If your body starts to sway a certain way, that's a no. If it sways the other way, it's wow.
Yeah, like use your body as a pendulum.
Interesting.
And I would probably say that you can use. I would right now. My logic is saying that you could use a pendulum if the questions are related to you, specific, and you're doing yes or no, because the science of the pendulum is connected to your aura. And your aura is a synthesis of your loudest chakra.
Right.
Remember? So your inner authority comes from the loudest chakra. And so that pendulum is going to be connecting to that loudest chakra.
Interesting.
So it may be work. So that may be muscle testing, and the pendulum may be good exercises to help begin to learn how to hear that yes or no. I right off right now, I would say yeah. I would say yes. I was experiment and see.
Experiment and see, exactly.
Experiment and see. Use your pendulum. You get a yes to do something. Do it. And then let us ask you afterwards.
Afterwards it'll work.
Did you feel peace, purpose, and power from your time after that thing that your pendulum said yes to or not?
And that's why I like you so much, Addam. It's like you give me the advice, but it's like at the end of the day though, you need to try it. You have to find and try it for yourself and see what works for you.
Man, when I used to hear the founder YouTube talks or books and he say, do the experiment, I would get so irritated when he would say that. But now that I'm doing the experiment, it really comes down to you gotta do it. Because I don't really know. I have no idea as a splenic projector how your yes or your no is gonna work for you.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I do know this. If it's yes, at the end of it, you will feel a sense of success. And you will feel a sense that it was worth your time.
Right.
Because it gave you back a sense of peace, purpose, and power.
Right.
And I know if it didn't,
better.
It was not, that was wrong. I don't care how much you tell me. If you tell me you don't feel a sense of peace and purpose from that activity, you can tell me up and down, but I know I should have been there, there. No, you should not. Not if you right now in this moment
right.
are not feeling that, then that won't, I don't care what you're telling me.
Right.
You weren't supposed to be there.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So let's get into something a little deeper now. So like I said, I know you done human design. I remember you and Becky were talking about earlier how we go into different communities and we talk about stuff and they don't accept it. So I guess I'm curious to understand, just two aspects. How does human design and religion mix? Or does it mix at all? Or like how do they go together if they do?
It depends on the individual. The pure answer is human design is so not religious. Human design is just pure logic.
Okay.
Here's who you are. Here's what you need to find out your yes or no. The founders said that human design is a logical system, but it is designed to evolve into a spiritual system. He said it wasn't his mission while he was alive. He was going to bring the logical system to it, but other people come and bring the spiritual aspect to it. And the spiritual aspect, to me, it does mix. I see it in my mind. I see it so well. Jesus' whole focus was listen and discover the will of God for your life. That was Jesus' gospel. The gospel means good news. Good news is this: God has a unique will for your life that you can understand and commune with and obey it. And by obeying it, you will have an abundant life.
Right.
He says, I come that you may have life abundantly. And that life is learning how to hear and obey the Holy Spirit in you.
Right.
That is human design.
That's human
He
design.
also was focusing on everybody was unique and different.
Right. That's really interesting.
And so for me, it is, again, the human design for me is the gospel of Jesus, not so much Christianity, but the gospel of Jesus restated for the modern man.
Right. That's
There's
interesting.
two things that it's saying. You are not your life.
Right.
Like, you are not you have no idea what can bring you peace, purpose, and power. You don't know.
And that's like goes back to the mindset of you have to release yourself to find yourself.
And say the highest and most powerful prayer, not my will, but thy will be done.
Beautiful.
You just asked me, man, you got that no. Because I one of the things is I realize now, it's not up to me. Not my preference, but thy will. Because that no or that yes is saying, God made you this way, Adam.
Right.
He made you this way. And your peace, your purpose, and your sense of power, it comes from you using your energy right on this earth. And your energy being used right is how the Creator created you to use your energy right for its purposes that we have no idea about.
Right.
Not only do we not have any idea about, but it's actually none of our business. I heard somebody say, I just was so curious of why I got so much peace from that. It's none of your business. At the end of the day, it's none of your business. You got peace and purpose for. Why do I feel so purpose for this? It's none of your business. Why do you think God gave me this design to get so much purpose from this? We may never know. We can sit here and try to fathom, but I would say that would be setting you up because tomorrow you may not get it.
Right.
That way.
Right.
So if you try to come with an answer today and say, "Oh, I know why God had me go there and talk to that person, because God made me this way." Well, be careful. It's best to say today, God led me there, and I got a lot of purpose from it. Versus to make it say, "Oh, this is my mission. This is what God wants me to do." That's what God wants you to do today. In the book of James, he addresses that. In the book of James, he said, "Stop this saying, we will do this, we will do this. Learn to say, if it's God's will,
I'll do it.
We'll do X, Y, and Z."
And that's why you say you check in on everything because it could be good today but wrong tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. If you go back and read the gospel of Jesus, one day Jesus was saying this, and he was doing this, and the next day he was saying no. His disciples said, "We're so confused. Last week you said this. Last week you said this." His thing was always checking in with the Spirit by the Spirit.
Right.
At the end of the day, he was always checking in. It was always, today it was this, it was this. The Apostle Paul in the book of Ephesians or Galatians says, stay in step with the Spirit. Live in step with the Spirit by Spirit every day. And you will not gratify the desires of the sinful flesh. And this fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, kindness. This is what you get from staying in step with the Spirit. The Spirit is your inner authority.
Right.
And we don't know what we don't know what the aim of that individual will of God is. We don't know what the aim of it is.
Right.
Right? Some people, speculate. You said keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real.
Integrity.
Christianity teaches us this story about Jesus that makes us overlook the most powerful and beautiful demonstration of surrender that the earth has ever seen.
What you mean?
And surrender to inner authority.
Right.
And the way they teach the story of Jesus is this. Jesus was sent on earth to die for the sins of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Is taught in such a way as to say, Jesus knew, I got to go to earth. I got to die on his cross. That way I can save all mankind from going to hell from my Father.
Right.
And when it's taught that way, we really, really miss the power, the amazing, beautiful story of surrender that we see in the gospel. We see this being saying, recognizing psychically, they about to kill me on this cross.
Right. No, I'm hearing you.
He's like, wait a second. These humans really about to kill me on the cross. And the Bible story says he goes and prays. And it says he's so stressed.
He's sweating blood.
He's sweating blood.
Right.
He's telling the disciples, hey, I got to go in these woods. Y'all watch my back because I'm about to go so deep. I ain't got time to be worried about surroundings. Right? So y'all come watch over me. Watch him pray, meaning literally he's at a park. This is at a day and age where people are vandalizing you. There ain't no police to call. There ain't no, lights. You know what I'm saying? So two things can happen when you're in the wilderness. A beast can sneak up on you, or some bandits can sneak up on you.
Right.
So his thing was, hey, y'all, I'm about to go so deep in this prayer. I'm going out here to pray. I'm going to go so deep in it. Y'all watch me while I pray. Because I got to go deep. Because I got to figure this out. Because it looks like they about to kill me on the cross.
Right.
So let me find out what the God's will is for me. Because hey, y'all pray. It says he was stressed. And we hear him say, Father, if it's possible, take this cup from me. Because this task, what I see, if I stay on this path, they about to kill me badly. And then he says, nonetheless, what does he say? Not my will,
Thy will be
but
done.
thy will be done.
Yes.
And then he has to be woken up from it because his body recognized, hey, your people aren't watching you. So he gets up, he's kind of upset at them. Remember the story? He's kind of upset. He says, hey, y'all,
I'm praying y'all supposed to stay away.
I asked y'all to stay away for a little bit. He's like, y'all talking about y'all gonna run the world with me, save the world. Now, y'all can't stay away for an hour. How y'all gonna? He's like, but nonetheless, let's go. Like, I got my answer. I'm surrendered.
Right.
I'm surrendered to whatever come what may. It looks like I'm gonna die on this cross. I don't know. Because it makes no sense to me. I know what my mission was to come reveal the Father. I do know that much. I'm here to reveal the Father. But it looks like they really about to kill me, God, Father. But nonetheless, not my will be done. Your will be done. Now, we're taught it was his plan. He knew he got down the sauce for the world. He got to surrender, whatever. So we really miss that here's a human that's just living every moment being obedient to God's will.
Right.
And that's why Paul go back and write the most beautiful statement. He says, be humble. He said, take the attitude of Christ, who was equal with God, but did not consider equality with God something to boast and be bragged of. But it says he surrendered himself and was obedient even to death on the cross.
Right.
That's the level of obedience to your inner authority. Inner authority is like this. I do not know why I'm getting a yes. Nevertheless, not my will, thy will be done.
Right.
Not, I know why I'm getting a yes. I know where I'm going to go. I know where this is happening. It's more so, I don't know. Now, when you tell that story and you say it was meant to be on the cross, it was meant on the cross, you miss this. You miss what God did with that death on the cross. Here's his enemies saying, we're about to end his movement.
Right.
We're going to get these humans to crucify Jesus on the cross. When he's crucified on that cross, his followers are going to lose faith in him. And whatever his mission was, it's going to be done. Because they're looking for a Messiah. And they know ain't no Messiah going to die on no cross. Matter of fact, they're going to believe in him. So you got some other forces saying, this is what's going to get rid of him. This is going to make everybody forget him, abandon him. We're going to kill him on that cross. It's going to be the end of his story.
Right.
Jesus is saying, hey, God, I know you told me to obey you. None, just stay obeying you. But it looks like they're going to kill your boy.
Yeah.
And I can't see me being killed empowering my disciples. I can't see me being killed seeing, telling my family they were right to disown me.
Right.
This ain't mathing.
But thy will be done.
Now, but thy will be done. Now, we're told that Jesus knew the plan. He surrendered. He was all supposed to be there. But when you see it the other way, it's like, my God, here's a person who's really humbling. That's why on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Right.
If the plan was, yeah, I'm supposed to die anyway, it's just like, yeah, they're doing their job. But he said, no, forgive them. Please have mercy on them. They don't know what they're doing. Because God is like, hey, damn, they actually killing the person I sent to give them gift.
Mm-hmm.
But God is saying, don't worry, I'll make this work in your favor.
Right.
I'll make this work in our favor. Now, where I'm getting to really fastly is this. Jesus said, not my will, thy will be done. This ain't mathing. Everyone's like, but there's an enemy spirit accounted for saying this is going to end the whole movie. We're going to humiliate his movements, kill him on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the end of it. When Jesus died on that cross, the Apostle Paul comes 15 years later as a new element to the gospel.
Mm.
In the world of humans struggle with guilt.
Right.
We cannot get over guilt. We're manipulated with guilt. Guilt runs the world.
Mm-hmm.
Guilt has created a indigenous humans sacrificed their first child to appease the angry God.
Right.
Guilt is so bedridden in being human. We feel so guilty we kill something.
Right.
Every culture had a system of sacrifice. The Jews had a system of sacrifice. The Africans, the Incas, everybody had this idea. We got to kill something to make the gods happy.
Right. We got to sacrifice.
We got to sacrifice something. So here's an enemy thinking, we're going to humiliate Jesus on this cross, kill him. Paul comes about 15 years later. He recognized everybody in this world is bent on a sacrifice. You know what he tells them?
He was a sacrificial lamb.
He was a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
None of y'all need to ever look to sacrifices again. Do you know how Christianity spreads so fast all over the world? Because of that message of tying Jesus' death on the cross. The very thing the enemy's saying, this death on the cross will end this movement. That very thing that they thought was going to end the movement, it started the movement.
That's crazy.
By Jesus being obedient to it.
That's crazy. So if you can really just surrender to who you are,
What your
love
truth,
your body,
you don't
your truth.
know why you got a yes.
Yeah.
You don't know why you got a yes to that. You don't know why you got a no.
Mm-hmm.
Just surrender to it. Let the Father be in charge of what the happiness is. Now, it wasn't immediate. You know, when he hung on the cross, they did leave him.
Mm-hmm.
They did abandon him. His mama did say, see there, I told you this was going to happen, boy. You talking crazy like that. But over the years, other people, right? When that message go, hey, y'all need to sacrifice anybody. There's a perfect sacrifice for you. To this day, you can go to an indigenous culture. Say you don't have to do any more sacrifices. Here's the story of Jesus. He was a sacrifice for you. They eat it up.
Mm-hmm.
It spreads even more. Here it is, 2,000 years later. A lot of theologians believe if he did not have that death on that cross story, his religion may have not lasted.
Oh, wow.
So here's the very thing that the enemies are saying, this will put an end to this story. This will put an end. It was the very thing that God ultimately used to expand that story.
Wow.
We miss all of that when we're taught, oh, he was meant to come here and die on the cross for our sins.
Wow.
Versus sin, no, that was not meant, but
That's what happened, though.
That's what happened, and the Father said, don't worry, I'll make it work. You be obedient, Jesus, and no matter what they do to you, I'll make it work in our favor.
Beautiful.
And that's what it is for you. You say yes, you say no, if you say yes, just go with the yes. It's going to work out.
Mm-hmm. I love it, and that's what it is. Really
Sorry to go on
surrender.
that preaching sermon.
No, that was beautiful though, man. Like you made a great description, and it's like amazing that you were able to use Jesus Christ to help understand why we need to surrender to human design and just trust ourselves and just let go.
And I want to come in because a friend called me yesterday. He said, "You putting all this faith in human design?" No, it's not trust human design per se, but it's taking the experiment that it's suggesting and it's trusting your inner authority.
That is going to give me what I need.
That's going to lead you to the right thing. It's not so much trusting human design. Human design is just the language. It just provides a language. It really just provides an updated language, like I said, to the gospel of Jesus. Finding, discovering the will of God and trusting the Holy Spirit.
Right.
What we're trusting is the Holy Spirit. But we're using the language and we're using the reference map of the human design, the language that the human design reveals to us.
Right, and it's kind of like giving you a map of what you need to trust for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, it's giving you a map of how you can trust and how you can expect to hear the spirit speak through you, because the spirit is going to speak through that loudest chakra.
I love it. I love it. So, any other questions from the crowd right now?
A question that I always get asked is, what is the difference between the birth chart and a human design chart, since both of them do deal with like time of birth, the date of birth, and then also planetary alignments?
So the major difference is the human design focuses on the body that was created 3 months before you were born. That's the major difference. So a birth chart is more so focusing just on your personality aspect, where the human design is focusing on actually the physical form, which they call the design, which happens 3 months before you were born. Also, it goes into the genetics, the 64 genetic codes and gates. Because those 64 gates represents just 64 genetic codon sequences. Where an astrological birth chart is more so showing your mental, you know how we have a mental body, an astral body, and a spiritual body. Well, the astrology birth chart is just giving you deep mechanics about your mental body, the mental you, who you think you are. But your peace, purpose, and power comes from that synthesis of that, your physical form and the expression of those 64 activations.
Beautiful. So, another question I have is, I know you do tarot, and I know you use human design with your tarot readings, and I was just wondering, like, how does that actually benefit and go together?
It's a synthesis for me, you know. There's two ways I use a tarot. I use a tarot to help people understand what's happening in their open centers. So I use a tarot to say, hey, you have this open throat, and this is how it's guiding your life versus your inner authority. Other times, I'll use a tarot to see first what's going on in a person's life, and then I'll look for confirmation in their human design body graph, and it helps add more color. They work to add more color.
Got it.
Like, so if I see somebody, they say, I need to know about my work, right? I see something and it looks to me that I see this person needing to be in a role where they're a leader or a boss based on my tarot card.
Right.
I open up their body graph and then I can really see very specific. It makes me look for it in their body graph. Let me see where their leadership is in their body graph. Then I can connect it and tell a better story, articulate it. I can use the language of human design to articulate better. Here's what I see that you may want to begin to look to respond to.
Got you. So it's like you give it that, it's like that confirmation for you then, that I'm reading, my tarot's giving me a sign and my human design is showing me that it matches this person, so I know.
And I use them vice versa. Sometimes I'll be looking at a human design chart and I want to know, what does this look like in their life? And I'll lay my tarot cards out. Like, because I want to say, I wonder how's this channel, I look at the chart first and I'm like, I wonder how this channel manifests. I'll throw my cards out, and my cards will help me see a psychic vision of how that channel, how it's being expressed. So I go vice versa, or I do a human or the tarot card reading, and then the human design helps me put the language to what I'm seeing in the cards.
Got you. So we're going to start wrapping up to our end game, and one of my main questions is, I know the weekend was Unlock Your Bliss weekend, so I guess I'm just curious to understand how knowing your human design and practicing the experiment will unlock your bliss.
Okay, great. So the knowing your human design will not unlock your bliss. All right. Knowing your human design is comforting. It does help you relax, and it helps you trust who you are. It gives you a sense of, it gives you relaxation and trust. Like I said, let's go back to the car, right? You get a brand new car. You get that manual. That manual makes you feel comfortable with the car, right? It makes you see other features. It makes you proud. Man, that's how I set my. But just reading the manual, getting comfortable, making you feel comfortable, making you feel proud about that car, it's not going to unlock your bliss.
Right.
What's going to unlock your bliss is knowing how to drive it and knowing how to accelerate and go correctly. But how it unlocks your bliss is is being able to live every day in your peace, purpose, and power. Because that's what we want. What we want is to feel that joy, that happiness, and that fulfillment every day. And joy, happiness, and fulfillment can only come from peace, purpose, and power. We want peace with our past. We want peace in the present. And the only way to be really grounded in the present, we've all talked about the power now, right? You've been in today's world. There's nobody who's like everyone's present moment. Be mindful. You can't do it by telling yourself to do it. The only thing that's going to ground you in the present moment is being anchored in your sense of purpose.
Interesting.
You cannot manufacture true anchored in the present moment without a sense of purpose. And that's the recipe for joy and happiness. And then you can't feel calm to maintain your sense of purpose and peace without feeling a sense of power.
Right, sense of control.
A sense of power to say, I can face whatever tomorrow brings. I am confident that I will have the ability to face whatever tomorrow brings. If you don't have power, if you're not in touch with your power, you're not gonna feel that you can face tomorrow.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Because you may have your peace and purpose right now, but without power, you could be scared of tomorrow.
Right.
But with power says, no matter what comes tomorrow, I will be able to handle it and face it.
Right.
And maintain my sense of peace and stay inside my purpose.
So it's like you need all three though.
You
'cause
need
you can
all
have
three.
power and you can have power and purpose, but you don't have no
You can
peace.
feel confident that I can face tomorrow, but right here, right now, in this moment, you don't have peace.
Right.
You can have power. I'm ready for I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready for tomorrow. Yeah, but you can't sleep, right? If you can be all you want ready for tomorrow, but if you don't get to sleep,
Right, don't
when
matter.
tomorrow comes, you're gonna be exhausted. You won't be able to execute that power.
Right.
If you don't get yourself calm and relaxed in this now moment
Right.
and chill out, you're gonna be like the five foolish virgins, in the gospel of the parable. They weren't ready when the bridegroom came.
Right.
So yeah, you can have all the power to be ready to face tomorrow. I'm ready to go after my dreams. But if you can't be peace and cheer right now, to eat correctly, right, to feed your body correctly, to study correctly, you won't be ready for what tomorrow brings.
Right.
Even though you feel confident, you won't have the stuff in place
Right. Beautiful.
because you're so unrest and so unease right here, right now.
Wow. That's
So
very
yeah, you need
interesting.
all three. And the only thing that's going to unlock all three, which is your bliss, is learning how to know what is yes for you and what is no. Because what that yes is saying is yes. This work, this play, this study is going to be a good use of your time.
Right.
And a good use of your time is something that you're going to get from it, a sense of peace, purpose, and power. And peace, purpose, and power every day, multiplied times years, unlocks a bliss to your life.
Right. Brings a life of bliss because you got peace. Purpose,
Because you're
power
not
every day.
worried about external things.
Right.
Because no matter what comes tomorrow, I know how to get my peace. And I know how to stay here in this moment grounded in my purpose.
Right. I can trust my inner authority.
I can trust my inner authority. My inner authority, yes, is going to always bring me a sense of peace, purpose, and pattern, no matter what comes with. Let them hang me on the cross. You know what? I can say, not my will, thy will be done.
Right.
Let them take away my job. Let them take away this. I'll be okay. My yes will keep me in peace. Because all I really want in the day is peace, purpose, and power.
Right.
When I first got into my journey in 2004, a mentor said, he asked a question, who are the most powerful people on the planet? I was thinking in my head, I wonder who the most powerful people are. I really was thinking, is it the spiritual? Is it the people with money? He said, people who don't want for anything.
So you can't do nothing to them.
You can't do nothing to them.
Yeah.
They can't be manipulated. They can't be wheeled. They can't be used. Because they don't want anything. And when you follow your yes or your no, you get peace, purpose, and power in that moment, and everything is good.
That's crazy.
You have your preferences, but you can't be manipulated.
That's so beautiful. Definitely the way you said it, because it takes me back to Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. And he said, the devil literally said something in there. He was like, I cannot control people who have the purpose and power down. I try to tempt them, and oddly, they'll be out of line. They'll take my temptation and use it for themselves. And I cannot get control of these people. And that's what that just made me think of right now. So as long as I can understand and drive my car, the rain, the snow, all that stuff is not going to affect me.
Yep. We can't control the weather, We can't control the weather, but we can control how we weather
How
through
we
the
go
weather.
through it.
Right.
Right.
We can't change. Somebody says there's a song that says we can't control the weather. We can change our shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You can dress appropriately.
Right.
You can have that power.
Right.
You know, like, that was kind of weak analogy, but yeah, that yes is saying, hey, we're trying to give you real peace, real power, and purpose.
Right. Look
Because
like
that
outcast.
is going to free you, and that freedom, and you also know the rest of it. When you don't want anything, what happens?
You get everything.
That's when you get everything you want.
You get everything you want. Yeah, you just let go and surrender.
You let go and surrender, everything's going to come. So that's what that yes and that no is saying, hey, this is not going to bring you peace, purpose, and power.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bring you frustration and negative energy.
And then that yes and no will also bring you into, I guess, another word, alignment with yourself.
It is, and that's why I call it the science of alignment.
Mm.
And that alignment is what you're here to do. And that alignment is ultimately the alignment with the will of God.
Right.
And that's the gospel of Jesus.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And then it's crazy you used, I think on Friday you used the word alignment, and that's why I was like, I'm in the right spot because that's my word for the year is alignment. I'm trying to get aligned with my purpose, peace, and power, I guess now. After your class, for sure. I know exactly what I'm going to be aligned with what.
And that means that you have got to make a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Learning to hear, discern.
Right.
That's the first part. And then obey.
Exactly. Okay. And that's what I
It's two
need to learn.
parts.
Yeah.
In the book of Evangelist, it says the greatest thing a person can do in this life is learn to discern what the will of God is. And the second one is do it.
Right.
And the same thing, that's what inner authority is. It's not just enough to hear it and know what it is.
Right.
But it's about obey it in every area of your life, day to day.
Wow. Love it. Beautiful. Did our audience have any more questions? No, sir? All right. So our last two questions, Adam, that we'd like to ask everybody that attends the podcast, of course. One, is there a quote you'd like to leave with us today?
So many quotes. I'm gonna quote Ra Urahu. I think I quoted this on the last podcast. I'll quote it again. It's from Ra Urahu, and it says, "This is not your life.
Mm.
You know, let go of the control and be a good passenger.
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Enjoy the ride." And that's what you do when you're following your yes. You know, you just I got a yes. See what happens. Watch the
Right.
movie.
Right.
It's not my life. It really is not our life.
Beautiful. And then last question is always, where are you still swimming to, definitely when it comes to listening to your inner authority and find your bliss?
So right now in this moment,
Mm-hmm.
I am in deep, deep need of discerning what is the correct work for me.
I feel that.
Like I'm really need to keep. I got to keep swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta keep finding out where is my correct work
Right.
that I can be really committed to long term.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be my design to have something long term, but I really want to be able to have my correct work. Or here's a better answer to that. Part of my design that I learned in my manual
Mm-hmm.
is that I work better in life when I have a singleness of focus.
Right.
And alignment isn't not. In this weekend, we focused alignment being in the right work, the right player study. But it's deeper than that. It's
Mm-hmm.
also the right attitude, perception, and vision for life.
I like that.
You know, you have to have both alignments. And so I got to keep swimming and really find where's my correct focus.
Right.
That will help me really be even more clear on to see what things to respond to.
Right. No, and I think that's the most beautiful thing that I'm really trying to work on, because I can work, but if I'm not in a positive energy while I'm working, is this really even benefiting me? You know?
Yeah. So it's about a perception. I was telling somebody when I first got here, they asked me, they called me and said, okay, you're in Vegas. Was it correct for you to be there? And I said, yes, absolutely correct for me to be here. But my perception is not correct yet. My attitude is not correct yet. And my attitude has not been correct for a month. I'm in the right place. I'm moving because I responded to my yes. It was right. And I could feel it being right. But my attitude is not correct right now. I'm not looking at it in the right way yet.
Right.
I don't have the right angle. I don't have the right focus. And so right now, for my entire life, my whole focus right now, I got to keep swimming to find what is my correct focus to have. And I'm gonna experimenting. Should I be focused on this? Yes or no? Should I be focused on this? Yes or no? Should this be my outlook for my life? Should this be my a mission statement?
Right.
This does not. The human design experiment doesn't take away having your mission statements. It doesn't take away having a personal manifesto. But you now can use it to have the right one.
Right. Have the one that's made for you.
They have the one that's made for you.
Right.
So right now, I'm reevaluating and finding what is my mission statement. What is my focus? That is now I need to find out which is going to be the correct one for me.
Right.
And so right now, I'm like, I don't know. So I'm swimming and I'm really trying to look, but I gotta follow my strategy. I want to wait to respond, you know, and then choose the right one.
Got you. So my last question would be is it right for you to share your information so people can follow you on IG and use your services?
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to share your information with us?
I would. So you can follow me. My Instagram handle, TikTok handle is Addam with 2 D's, ADDAM from ADM.
Right.
From the initials A. So it's Addam, ADDAM from ADM.
ADM.
ADM is the city that I come from. I made that city up.
You made it up with it?
ADM.
The city of Addam?
I don't know. Just I saw it on a graffiti art. It said "Welcome to ADM." I don't know if it was a mistake or what, but I said I like ADM. So I rechanged my TikTok handles and Instagram handle to Addam from ADM.
Hey, you know what? I saw that during the class and I was like, isn't it supposed to be Addam from ADAM? But I was like, you know what? Just keep rolling. Maybe I did this typo.
Yeah, Addam from ADM, and then you'll see a link to all of my services to get your human design reading.
Right.
A basic human design reading, or some spiritual counseling, or some relationship coaching and advising. While I'm still there, because it may not be correct for me to do it longer.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel that
It
one.
may not be correct, and I'm hoping to have a book release. Most of this handout and stuff y'all got is from my book
Okay.
that I'm working on.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you don't have a title for it already? You want to
I
release it,
actually
or
do
no?
have a
Wait.
title for it. The title right now, the working title is Love and Surrender. The Love and Surrender Exercise.
I love that.
I mean, the Love and Surrender Experiment.
I love that. I will be checking it out. Make sure everybody check out the book. Do you have an expected date?
Oh man, I have many expected dates. I wanted it done before I came here, but it looks like it may be. I would love to have it. Right now, I'm pushing it back to a very long date. My birthday, May 29th.
Okay.
The fastest spring equinox.
Was that April?
The spring equinox is March 23rd, March 27th.
Okay.
So, and the longest, my birthday.
Okay, well, no, look, best of luck's on the books, and I already know it's right for you because you're doing it. So, yeah, I can't wait. And please just let me know when you do it so I can't get my copy.
I'll make sure you get a copy of it.
Yes, thank you. But Addam, I just want to, end this by saying thank you so much for coming out here, spending the weekend with us, doing another amazing class. I always leave here learning so much and then questioning so much more. I had to figure out so much more to do. But like you said, it's time just to do the experiment and see where life takes me. You know what I'm saying?
Crank that car up.
Crank that car up and start driving.
Press yes when it's time to press yes.
Yes, no, for real. I truly will. So I appreciate you, Addam, for so much for sharing your time and coming out here and jumping on the podcast as well. Definitely after a super long weekend. So thank you so much, Addam.
My
I truly
honor.
appreciate
Thank you so
it.
much. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
And then, of course, big shout outs to the Vegas Vibration team, Mr. T's Mac behind the audio, Mr. CEO back there making this all happen, Miss Becky for coming back out again and giving us amazing energy as always. Miss Esdale, you already know you're amazing as always. Salute to you too. Everybody out there listening today, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you guys learned something new. Make sure to check out Addam because he offers some amazing services. Definitely why he's still getting a yes to offer them. So get on it right now. You don't want to miss it. All the information will be in the bio. I'm gonna put it on the website because you can figure out your own human design as well as the link so you can go find Mr. Addam and get his services. But with all that being said, I hope you guys had an amazing afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.